I think that most college queens are people who are outgoing, and they're known all over the campus. I mean, I think that
y'all be everywhere.
Yeah, basically.
You
I
have
mean,
to be for this position.
I mean, I think queen material for most universities is someone with a personality, someone who can communicate, with all the students, and it's not one who goes with one set group. It's a universal person, someone that's well-rounded.
What about perhaps someone in junior high, high school, who would want to get to this position one day? Do you think it's required that they should start off early in high school, or is this something they can do and just become queen after they're in college?
Yes, I think so. Actually, I'm from New Orleans, and I attended Marion Abramson Senior High School, and I was homecoming queen then. And my mother has pushed me, not exactly pushed me, but she has influenced me to enter into different pageants, activities, So I've sort of learned how to cooperate with students and to interchange with them. So it sort of followed me throughout my college year, because I think ever since my sophomore year, I've been active with student government in different organizations.
And being at Southern University at New Orleans has allowed me to be a role model of some sort. I do have sickle cell anemia, and I was asked to come to an elementary school and talk to a student that shares the disease, And it really made me feel good to give this little girl some kind of inspiration and hope for the future. It made me feel real good.
So you all consider yourselves as being role models?
Yes,
definitely.
Right now, I'm working at Booker T. Washington High School here in the city.
In New Orleans?
Yes, and I'm working with the...
Xavier is in New Orleans. You're from out of town somewhere.
And I'm working with the Success Program geared towards what we label at-risk students. And so when they find out that you took the time to come over and volunteer your time to, be with them, they're like, wow, I can't believe, Ms. Xavier should only be waving and smiling. She shouldn't be in here working with us. But it means a lot to them. It's important that you don't become above level or put yourself above other people, because that's where a lot of females tend to abuse their titles.
Yes, it's true.
So students come up to you and maybe discuss problems?
Yes.
You become a counselor?
As a matter of fact, I worked as a peer counselor. So I'm familiar with the type of stress problems that students incur, during college life, relationships, religion, stuff like that. But as she said, we should get to know the students and work with other people, because I've came to New Orleans to recruit for the university. And I went to 35 and Abramson. And it's something when a student says, I cannot believe it, you made it all the way here, all the way from Grambling, 6 whole hours, where Eddie Robinson is, to see us. And it's something to say, oh yes, you are important to us. Just as students come to Grambling to see what the university is like, I take out my time and I visit with the students and I let them know what Grambling State University has to offer. A lot of times people think that Grambling is just a party school, but I need to let people know that Grambling is the top in academia. In the academic area, we are top in Louisiana. I need to stress that.
I know they have a pretty good football team.
Yes.
Matter of fact, your school is the only one with the team.
Yes.
So how do you go about homecoming activities with the other schools that don't have any games for homecoming?
Well, most of our activities at Dillard University, it's a certain time in a period in the year where alumni come back, and it's called an homecoming, but it's not a football game, they get together and party on the field.
Like a volleyball game?
No, they don't. They just have a lot of luncheons and alumni meetings, and just to give the progress of the university since they have left. And it's really just more of a social thing. It's not an exciting football game.
At Southern University of New Orleans, we are a part of a system, and my court traveled to Shreveport, that's Southern University in Shreveport, Bossier City, Southern University, Baton Rouge, and we participate in all their homecoming activities also. And Southern University at New Orleans only have a basketball team, So during the fall semester.
Is it a good team? Or are they winning? Yeah, all right, they're okay.
Yes. Yeah, okay. And I had my coronation during the fall semester, and we celebrated homecoming with Southern University Baton Rouge campus because of the football team. And during the spring semester when we had a basketball game, homecoming basketball game, the court participated.
All right.
This year, for the first time, we experimented with having a basketball game because coronation ceremonies and homecoming week activities take place before the basketball season actually starts. So we experimented with a scrimmage game in which the basketball team played against some of the students. And we also highlighted a few fraternities to play against each other. So basically our homecoming is geared towards our students. Now it's true that our alumni do come back, but we also have a separate occasion for alumni to come back in full force. So homecoming at Xavier is geared specifically towards the students.
Okay. Well, we're going to take a commercial break, and we'll be right back with Black College Queens.
Lipstick break.
Kareem, we'll never see eye to eye on anything.
Don't be so short-sighted. We can both see that space research benefits everyone.
Oh, like the scratch-proof lens developed for the Apollo space camera?
That same technology led to scratch-proof eyeglasses, sunglasses.
And even goggles.
You wouldn't need those if your horse was always in front.
That's a tall order.
What we're learning up there
Is helping us all down here.
space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
Hi, welcome back to our program, and we're sitting here with 4 beautiful queens from Louisiana universities, universities that's here in Louisiana. We have Miss Xavier, Miss Dillard, Miss Grambling, and Miss Southern University of New Orleans. Let's talk about the title of being Queen of the University. Do you think there was maybe a little change after you were crowned? Do you think you're the same person you was last year or before the election?
No.
No?
No, because I've become more outgoing. Not to say that I wasn't beforehand, else I wouldn't have this position. However, it's easier to speak in front of people now. You know how you get stage fright, but after speaking impromptu at several occasions, I've overcome that. So it has changed to enhance my personality.
Well, I wouldn't say it has changed my personality to a great extent. It has given me a responsibility. I have a responsibility to be a role model, and as an ambassador of Dillard University, I have to uphold the image of Dillard University. So that means I can't, hang out on the yard, just doing the things that the regular students do. So I have a responsibility, and in that sense, I have changed.
Well, I don't think I've changed at all.
Same old
I'm the same old Zahara. The only difference that I've made would probably be in the essence of becoming a better person in terms of speaking. The only difference is that I speak more in public, as I stated earlier. But in terms of my personality, it has never changed. I don't go out to parties and at all, but I talk with the students, I visit students, the same activities, but I'm a bit more involved. I try to make it to all the, as many as possible in terms of the organizations. If they have something, and I have an invitation, I go to everything that I'm invited to, so I hadn't changed at all.
That's good. What about you, Chanel?
Me too. Yeah, I'm kind of my identity, not everything is cool. I have my own identity, and I can't change. I can only be me. Yes.
So what about your friends? You have the same group, a set of friends?
Oh,
right?
yes.
So other people don't treat you differently?
Well,
No?
I think as far as the guys are concerned,
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that they flock to the campus queen, because I think I think it's more like, man, don't bother her. That's Miss Dillard, she can't go out. It's like, so I think it's lonely at the top. Should you say that?
I wouldn't say that. I get a bit more play, now because. I guess because you're always in the spotlight and in the center, and I'm not always the type of person that I'm dressed up, so I'm casual and I'm smiling, and so guys feel comfortable, and they say, "Hey, how you doing? I didn't expect you to be like this." So they're able to approach me by the manner in which I carry myself.
Well, I think it's like that too, but it's, I mean, as far as like for a guy walking up to you and say, well, let's go out. You know, I think that I get less of that because I was crowned Miss Dillard. I mean, well, as far as, you know, being cool with all the guys, I have more male friends on campus than I do female friends. But, you know, on a relationship basis, no.
Well,
So guys don't feel intimidated to walk up to you and say, hi.
no, I don't think so.
No, I don't think so.
Like I said, I hadn't changed. I'm very seldom. The funny thing is, when I remember one time I wore a sweatsuit to the cafeteria, and it just changed. I mean, the students were surprised, you know, because I really don't wear
Miss
sweatsuits.
Gremlin in a
The sweatsuit, right? But in terms of my relationship, I'm already spoken for, so everybody knows that. So it's no big deal. But I still maintain my respect from the peers, especially the guys, you know. And I get a chance to clown with the guys and everything, but I maintain my respect.
What about you, Chanel? You get more play?
You get more play.
Everybody say that I look mean. Like I'm unapproachable anyway, so you got enough confidence and all that, I guess.
So you all, this is pretty much the end of your reign.
Right,
Yes.
It's almost over.
Oh, well, right now, just as of yesterday, we elected a new Miss Dillard University.
Okay.
So until
So
I
someone else
come
is
back to give my crown away, I'm still Miss Dillard University.
Right,
So I'm sure you'll have a good time
Oh, yeah.
throughout the year.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great time.
Been very rewarding. Yes, it has. I can speak for a couple of us here. We plan on going on to the Miss Collegiate African American pageant to take place in Los Angeles, California, at Universal Studios in Hollywood. So,
Well, let's take a look at a couple of pictures you all took the night of the convention. Wasn't that nice, the pictures we just saw?
yes.
That was really nice. Chanel, her pictures they were in like the little slides and we couldn't get them through the camera, so she's here. We can get a close up on her, right? So how do you think you'll look back, maybe 5, 10, 20 years from now, look into your college experience? How do you think you'll look back and say, I had a great time? It was, or what?
Well, actually, when I look back, I would mark mine as an experience. It's something that I'm sure that I can share with my family as I do now. But in the future, I can look back and say, well, I was the queen and influenced my children to participate in queen-like or queenly activities.
Right.
Yeah.
I would probably say mine was more of a growing experience. It gave me a chance to grow as a person and to make myself a better productive citizen in society. I can look back on my college years and look at where I started and the things that I was involved in when I got to college and how each year I progressed at a different level and, you know, just broaden my horizons. And as being queen, I can, you know, say that, you know, during my college years, people looked up to me and they thought that I was worthy enough to represent them. And that's more than an honor.
What I remember about my experience as a college queen is the night of my coronation.
Yeah.
The theme was one moment in time, and it was indeed one moment in time. You know, I really felt like royalty.
So you all really felt like queens?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, because I know Dillard, they do it up, you know, for coronation, you know, as far as the scenery and everything, because my theme was a night in Paris, and I swear I was in Paris. I mean, you know, they had the lamps and the backdrop. I mean, it was just beautiful, and it was like you see all these people in the audience, and they came to see me, you know. When I took my promenade, you know, it was like I was Queen Elizabeth.
Well, it's tradition to hold the coronation in the gymnasium of Southern University at New Orleans. And that night, it did not look like
It doesn't.
Oh, you had it in the gym?
Yes,
Well,
that was.
I did.
My theme was south of the border. I've been to, down Mexico way. I went to Mexico twice serving as an ambassador for the university. And I like Mexico, you know. So that was my theme, and it was elaborate. I enjoyed it, but the most thrilling part is when I went to certain sections and the students stood up as if, you know, actually I had the same response to homecoming when I came out and all the students stood up and I was like, I have left all my clothes behind. Yeah, right.
emotional that night. I cried.
And then
I cried.
they call your name, you know, all your friends, Terry, you know, you're so excited. I mean, you really feel like.
The night at my breakfast, I had so many of my friends helping me get ready for this moment. And that night, I was trying to, you know, like recognize everyone that played a big part in helping me, and they all were back there. Don't forget me. Don't forget me.
My coronation ceremonies took place at the downtown Hilton. My theme was a new era engaged in excellence. And indeed it was. That night is something I will never forget. It seems like it was, you know, just yesterday.
Right.
But it was a big production, and I was the center of attention, and that means a lot because like the standing ovations is just to see 2,000 people standing up clapping. It's something.
Yes.
I think in my coronation, they didn't have enough room, the standing room only. And it's something because I was carried out.
Carried?
I was carried out.
Were you on like a Mexican platter or something?
No, it was like a throne, and it was elaborate. It was beautiful. And when I came out, there were people all over, you know. And I was surprised. I really was. For some reason, I was surprised.
I just want to touch you.
Yeah, and the funny thing, when I came down for the Bayou Classic also, people don't realize the importance. I was telling you that earlier, that a lot of people, Miss Grambling, and people tug on you and pull. Now, that's something I wasn't accustomed to. You know, a person pulling on me and tugging on me, wanting an autograph and all that good stuff. And so I said, oh, goodness, I'm a celebrity.
That happened to me too. I also attended the Bayou Classic activities, you know, as a part of the Southern system. I did participate. And
you did not believe me.
Meeting this Bayou Classic contestants, someone asked me for my autograph, and I was like, what?
It has been a great honor to meet all of you all and talk to you about your experience as being college queens. And I want to thank you all for coming.
Thanks for having us.
And most of you are graduating this year, am I right?
Well, we are. Me and Michelle are.
I'm not.
No?
I have a 5-year curriculum.
Well, you will graduate.
Well, sooner or later.
One of these days.
I am vying for another position as GA Vice President.
So I hope that whatever you all do in the future, I hope you gain much success in all your future endeavors. And when you're ever in New Orleans or when you're ever here, you can come on our show and join us for more positive Black Talk. Hello, New Orleans. My name is Earl Mackey. Welcome to Positive Black Talk. We have another show lined up for you tonight. It's going to be just as good as it was last week. Today we have Mr. Ellis Marsalis. He's going to be right here. So don't you go anywhere, because we're going to be right back with more Positive Black Talk.
No matter what you're running from, there's someone to run to. Covenant House. No matter what your problem is, we're here to listen. Wherever you are, we can get you help. So call us now on the 9 line. It's free. 1-800 and keep dialing 9.
Kareem, we'll never see eye to eye on anything.
Don't be so short-sighted. We can both see that space research benefits everyone.
Oh, like the scratch-proof lens developed for the Apollo space camera?
That same technology led to scratch-proof eyeglasses, sunglasses.
And even goggles.
You wouldn't need those if your horse was always in front.
That's a tall order.
What we're learning up there
Is helping us all down here.
space technology.
This is what's in it for you.
Our next guest has a special interest in jazz music, and because of that, he's instructed hundreds of young men and women into becoming successful jazz players. Let's introduce Mr. Ellis Marsalis. All right. So how you doing tonight?
Okay.
Okay.
How are you?
I'm okay. Well, you're always doing fine.
I am?
Right.
How you know?
Well, I just assume, you know, I mean. So you're over at UNO now?
Yes, I've been at UNO since the fall
The fall?
of '89.
Okay. So that's about a year and a half? Or?
Not quite.
Okay,
It'll
almost.
be a year, a school year at the end of this year, June.
Okay. And basically you're a jazz instructor.
I'm director of the jazz program.
Okay, so you're over the whole department over there?
No.
No?
The jazz program is a part of the music department.
Okay.
And I'm just the director of the jazz program.
All right. And before you went to UNO, you were at NOCA?
No, I was at the Virginia Commonwealth University in Richmond, Virginia.
All right.
Where I was coordinator of jazz studies for 3 years.
Mm-hmm. But I know a lot of, at least I remember you from being over there. You were there a long time over at the New Orleans Center of Creative Arts.
Yes, I was there for 12 years.
12 years. That's quite a long time. And basically you did the same thing you're doing now, jazz music, trumpet, piano playing, and...
Essentially, the aim was the same, but it wasn't the same thing.
Okay. They were younger, and now they're older.
Well, when the kids were at NOCA, they were at an experimental level.
Okay.
That is, they were coming to see if they wanted to be involved in the arts as a career.
Uh-huh.
And generally speaking, by the time a kid comes to university, if they get into the jazz program, usually by then they've made a commitment.
So you think it was more fun teaching a kid that's experimenting, teaching a young person that's already made up his mind, so to speak? It's
fun either way. Mostly it depends upon exactly how serious the person is.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't matter when they commit or whether they commit at all. But if they're serious in the process of making that decision, then it is fun to work with students who are serious about what they're doing.
All right. Have you taught any students that maybe have gone on to do successful things, or maybe record contracts, or?
Well, of the students that went to the New Orleans Center for Creative Arts, including my 2 older sons, Branford and Winton, Don Harrison, Terrence Blanchard,
Okay.
and Harry Connick Jr., they all have record contracts.
Okay. And so you say you instructed your two sons, Winton and Bradford Marsalis. How did it feel, I mean, watching kids come to school every day and training them and make sure they're doing what they're supposed to do? Was that fun?
No.
No.
No, it wasn't necessarily fun at all. The most interesting thing about it, which didn't have a lot to do with the fact that two of them were my sons, it was watching the group of people that were there at that time develop.
Okay.
Because that was kind of exciting.
So Winton plays the trumpet and Bradford plays the what?
Bradford is saxophone.
He's a saxophone. Did you like teach them how to play, or they one day just picked it up and started playing? How did it all happen? Because I always wanted to play an instrument, but I just, I beat on the drums for a while, but it wasn't natural. How would you explain your children's talent?
Well, first of all, I'm not going to explain it, 'cause I can't.
You can't explain.
I can mention what they did in terms of study.
Okay.
They did study privately and continued to do so when they were students at local. As far as the extent to which any of it was natural, I'm not even sure if I know what that means. Because I think there are a lot of people who have a talent which I usually refer to as a diamond in the rough.
Right.
But if you notice, most people do not buy diamonds in the rough. They only buy them when they are cut and polished and set. And it's the same thing with students. There are a lot of students who are really diamonds in the rough. And some pursue specific areas and study.
Right.
I mean, whether they go to college or university or not, I mean, some do pursue a particular goal or direction and sort of hone and polish a skill. And in that case...
Right. I was talking to Mr. Clyde Kerr. He's the new instructor over there now. And we're talking about kids as far as music being in the genes. He said maybe if a father is very talented in an instrument, it goes down to the son and it keeps going. So do you think that's the case, that basically it stays in the family?
Well, I think you're treading on dangerous grounds when you start putting genetics into this.
Okay.
Because I'm not sure if genetic engineering or the discoveries in genetics would bear this out. I think it's a possibility that maybe there is some genetic factors involved.
Did your father or anyone else play instruments?
Nobody.
So it started with you?
In my family. See, the thing that makes genetics interesting in my family is that on my wife's side of the family, both her mother and her father's side of the family are two of the greatest jazz musicians in the history of music.
Okay, and their names are?
Wellman Bro, who played bass with the Ellington Band.
Okay.
And Alphonse Picou on her mother's side. Now, there's nobody on my side. So if it's genetics, then it came from her.
You got it from your wife?
You know, not me. The kids did. You see,
Right.
If it's genetics, if it is, then they got it from her side. They didn't get it from my side. I don't know how it happened with me.
It just happened then.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your music. You're a piano player.
Right.
That's classical or what?
No, I had studied some European music. Enough so that I would have the technique to play the kind of music that I wanted to play, which is jazz.
Jazz.
And I have written some songs. I have not really been what one would call a prolific composer. I think I'm more interested in composing music now than I was earlier.
Can you, do you sing along with your music? Can you sing?
No, I'm not a singer.
Well, everybody can sing. It's just that some people can, you know.
Well, I
sing
mean, in
well
the sense of what people mean when they ask you that.
Right.
You know, see, whenever somebody says, "Can you sing?" see, their mind is on, like, you know, Peabo Bryson, Luther Vandross, and,
right.
you know. So therefore, I cannot sing. I mean, I think everybody probably sings in the shower.
Right.
But I don't think anybody would pay any money to hear me
Well,
sing.
jazz is a style of music where you can just listen to it and you get a drink or something and just relax. You don't need singing. I mean, you just listen to it and it puts you in a frame of mind and you just start thinking about all kind of stuff. Don't you think?
Well, I hope not. I hope that when people do listen to jazz, that they do listen with serious intent. You know, I mean, you know, we tolerate the drinks as a part of the.
Well, I'm not talking. It could be root beer punch. I mean, I'm the kind of person I just need to hold something. I mean, you know, it doesn't have to be alcohol. Just, just
maybe you could get a big cigar. You know.
Okay, just bite on it.
El Producto, you know.
Right. So, jazz is nice, though. It is. It's real nice. And we're going to talk more about it when we come back. We're going to take a commercial. We'll be right back. So don't go anywhere.
This company needs quick decisions. So does yours. This company needs leaders. So does yours. This company needs well-trained people. So does yours. So when this company needs to borrow people from your company,
come on, man, move it on. Let's go, let's go.
Remember, they'll always come back better than they were before.
Hey, Bill, could we get your approval on this?
Be a hero. Give your employees the freedom to protect ours.
You, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
I, John Fitzgerald Kennedy, do solemnly swear.
That you will faithfully execute.
That I will faithfully execute the office
of President of the United States.
Of President of the United States.
And will, to the best of my ability,
preserve, protect, and defend
the Constitution of the United States.
So help me God.
The Constitution. The words we live by.
Stiletto, outlawed in most major cities. The trench knife. It boasts a 7-inch solid steel blade. The survival knife, designed to cut through virtually anything. Yet the most dangerous knife of all may be the one we use to eat too much high-fat food, the ordinary table knife. For a free booklet on how to help reduce your risk of cancer and heart disease through low-fat eating, call 1-800-EAT-LEAN.
Growing up a girl isn't always easy. Girls today are faced with problems that are worse than ever before. Things like poverty, illiteracy, teen pregnancy, and drug abuse. Girl Scouting is an informal education program that addresses the special needs and installs values for these girls. As a child, I didn't have the opportunity to be a Girl Scout, but as an adult, I've joined as a volunteer. You too can join. You too can share your time and talents with these girls. You can influence these girls. Join the Girl Scouts today.
I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed days, the dark sacred night, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
If you're not recycling, you're throwing it all away.
Welcome back to Positive Black Talk. We're sitting here with Mr. Ellis Marsalis. Do you do a lot of traveling? Do your music take you around the country or city or world? Or what?
I do some because of my duties at the University of New Orleans.
Okay.
It limits some of the traveling that I would ordinarily do if I were just doing performance on a full-time basis.
So you don't travel and perform, you more lecture and...
No, when I do travel, I do perform. Very seldom have I done very many lectures. I don't know very much to talk about.
So that's not really anything that, you know, if you're instructing a person to play, there's not much you can tell them. I mean...
Well, there's a lot of things that you can tell them, but it only occurs after so much experience on the instrument.
All right. You like working with younger kids, and, you know?
I like working with any kid that shows an interest in the music.
Right.
In fact, this summer we're having a summer program, which is, in fact, registration is going to be June 15th. And the program is aimed at the junior high school.
Okay.
Which doesn't mean that if you have a kid in middle school that they shouldn't apply.
So from ages from what, about 10 to 12 years old up to...
We're not so much concerned about the age thing. We use junior high school sort of as a benchmark.
Okay.
As a way of describing the type of program. It isn't a program that any adult would necessarily come to.
Is this a free program, or is it...
No.
No? Okay.
It's, I'm not exactly sure what the fee scale, the fee situation is. It's set by the university. And if they wish to, they can call the university at 286-6381.
Okay. And if you play, is this limited to jazz instruments, or is it just...
No, well, all the instruments are really jazz instruments.
Yeah?
You know, you can play jazz on a harmonica, you know, anything.
Okay.
But mainly what we're looking at are what we are now calling acoustic instruments, but not necessarily limited.
An acoustic would be what?
Well, these instruments that are not totally dependent upon